This is Donald Duck's unique way of stealing honey. He spent a fortune to buy a set of tools. His techniques look very skillful. Not long ago, a swarm of bees took over an 800-acre flower field. But what they didn't know was that this field actually belonged to Donald Duck. When he saw the bees, he was furious. So, he went home, grabbed a bucket, and prepared to get back at the bees. He figured out the location of the hive by tracking the bees' flight paths. But every bee that entered the hive had to say a special password to get back inside. Donald Duck secretly overheard the password. He tried to sneak in, but the bees quickly noticed something was off. They attacked Donald Duck and even managed to mess up his hat. However, Donald didn't give up. He disguised himself as a big bee and climbed a tree, hoping to win the bees' trust by pretending to be one of them. The bees saw him and actually believed he was one of their own. Then, he made his way to the hive entrance and became friends with the bees. But once the bees had returned to the hive, Donald used a tube to suck out all the honey. Just then, the queen bee returned with the rest of the bees. When the queen heard that the honey had been stolen, she was furious. No matter how the bees tried to explain, they couldn't calm her down. So, the queen kicked the bees out of the hive. The bees had no choice but to leave. That was when one of them noticed the honey on the ground. Following the trail, they peered through the keyhole and saw Donald Duck pouring out the honey. Then, they understood the truth. However, Donald was still trying to sneak back into the hive. This made the bees even angrier. One bee pulled out its stinger to get revenge. At that moment, the other bees returned home, but instead of joining the fight, they hid and watched as the battle unfolded. In a critical moment, one bee narrowly avoided a fatal sting. It then upgraded its equipment and began fighting back. Despite Donald's efforts to dodge, after a loud scream, the bees finally defeated him. They returned to the hive as heroes.